Ever since Bakugou Katsuki left UUA, he had found himself on a grind. On a grind to be the best. His entire life turned from, I'm the best and I will be the best, to work, 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 you are the best, you know it to be true. A workaholic through and through. Thanks to his high school years, he understood the strengths and weaknesses of his most capable former schoolmates, who he now considered to be his rivals. Still, he only just managed to be the second best hero of Japan, just behind Deku. It hurt his pride. The only thing that really gave him any solace in this was his money. He was stinking rich. Ever since the Germans increased their influence, sponsors had become more and more important for the standing of a hero. Being sponsored by a European company meant loads of cash and fans. His deal with a French biotech company called Superior Genetics catapulted his wealth into the billions. This did mean he had to advertise Superior Genetics products. So when Bakugou wasn't on patrol, he was shelling products. A miserable life for some, and a life of opportunity for others. But despite all of his wealth, he still felt bitter. He had no one but himself, the hero agency was employed in, and his sponsors. But all that would change when you appeared. You were a beggar, down on your luck. All that happened so fast. Your parents had died in a villain attack, caught in a crossfire between them and the police, which put you in an orphanage. But you had been too old for anyone to give a rat's ass about you. Trauma, an alien environment, a loss of pretty much everyone you knew, those were the things that set your life on a bad course. You shifted through garbage. It had been summer, meaning that the fresh stuff people threw away, because it had few icky parts, would rot so much faster. You dived into the dumpster of a drive-by restaurant. As a child, you loved that chain so much, you begged your parents to go there at least once a week. Now you went here almost daily to shift through its trash in the hopes that someone had been unhappy with their order and returned the food. You thank whatever God there was for hygiene standards. If they weren't so high, you would go hungry more often than you'd ever be willing to admit. And then you found it. A delectable little treasure. Inside a damn cardboard box was a still-packed cheeseburger. Quickly you unwrapped it, still in the dumpster, and opened up the top bun. No insects. Ah, you cried tears of joy. Why would anyone throw away a precious thing like this? Then you took a whiff. Yeah, that's why. At least it wasn't rotten. Yet. It was probably just a matter of hours. The smell of the dumpster, however, had completely been absorbed by the bun. And then you bit into it. It was dry, and the bread soggy, and the pickles tasted unbelievably sour. But it was filling at least. You sighed almost in happiness as you finished it. The food of the homeless shelter was slightly better quality-wise, but nothing was as satisfying as a cheap, disgusting, greasy burger from an exploitative restaurant chain that was the main cause of obesity around the planet. However, suddenly you heard heavy footsteps approach you. Thinking fast, you buried yourself under the rotten scraps, vowing to never ever breathe through your nose again. Wherever it was, stopped near the dumpster. Your heart pounding. Look, it was a male voice. You can't be doing this. Your lips quivered. Neighbors called, you're causing a ruckus. They paused and then punched against the metal of the trash dumpster, causing it to vibrate. You suppressed a yelp. Ah, damn kids. Get the fuck out of there! Kids? You thought. You were in your 20-somethings. So still called being a kid was both rare and kind of a delight. But whoever was out there didn't seem to be much older than you. You shifted. Get out there, bring you home, and if you don't make any fuss, I won't tattle on your parents. Slowly you poked your head out of the dumpster. There stood a man. Wait, you had seen him before zipping past you. A hero, right? He looked at you in surprise. Oh, was all they could say. Hi. You said, scared. Bakugou, meanwhile, was overwhelmed with the emotions at the sight of you. A girl dressed in dirty second-hand clothes, a beanie covered in holes on her head, long wild hair and grimy skin, mouth still covered by 3-day-old ketchup. He was called for a disturbance. I thought you're some lousy teen tagging shit. You blinked. Lovely, he replied dryly. Who the fuck are you? Nobody? He blinked. Look, this is as embarrassing for me as it is for you. Look, this is as embarrassing for me as it is for you. Just let me go. The hero helped you out of the dumpster, but before you could leave... Don't you homeless have that underground city of yours? You blinked. He was talking about Undercity, as it was called. A hideout where homeless and villains met for shady dealings and decently dry sleeping places. There was just one issue with it. Undercity is still a city of homeless, so there isn't much food to go around. In fact, it's easier to get high or catch an STD there than it is to get a full belly. The hero sighed. Bakugou knew there were homeless walking about, but he never expected to be put face to face with one. Primarily because of that hideout of theirs. Well, at least let me do something nice for you. You blinked. Like what? Bakugou sighed once again. Just come on. He had a heart for pretty faces. He walked a few meters away and pulled out a phone. And with quivering legs, you followed him. What are we waiting for? You asked cautiously as he stood by the street. Taxi, was his only response. And soon the beautiful sports car parked next to the two of you. Wow. It was a two-seater. Wait, how did it get here? Bakugou opened the passenger seat. Inside was... no one? How did it get here? Then Bakugou tapped on the hood of the car. In big black letters were the words, "Let humans do what nature can't." You blinked. What? Slogan of my sponsor. It's not my car, technically. Anyways, it's self-driving, so pretty sick, huh? Okay. You sat down in the passenger seat, feeling very out of place. The car's interior smelled like new leather. It looked sleek, like a modern smartphone. You could have never dreamed of even sitting in this. Not even mention owning it. And then Bakugou began to drive. Where are we going? You asked. But before you could say anything, you chuckled. He looked at you confused. I just realized how dumb this is. You could be doing anything to me right now and no one would care. He clicked a button. An automatic voice said, "Coordinates confirmed." and he let go of the wheel.
Okay. Let's have a conversation. First of all, I'm driving you home to my place.
You still felt a little strange about the nature of the vehicle that you almost didn't listen. Right. You said, trying to process what was happening. But why? He shrugged.
I guess you have the benefit of being the first.
You scowled. Homeless really were the invisible generation, weren't they? Nobody gave a fuck about you, to the point where you were practically invisible unless forced to interact with someone, huh?
Plus, despite that shit on your face, you're kinda cute, so that's a plus.
You deadpanned. Okay, this was really the luck of the draw here, wasn't it? So, you're what? You clean me, fuck me, then throw me back on the street? He chuckled.
That depends entirely on you, really.
And who the fuck do you think you are? Why were you getting angry? You were going to sleep somewhere warm tonight, at least. His eyes went dark. One thing Bakugou hated was when people didn't know him.
Bakugou Katsuki, and the second most popular hero of Japan. Right behind... fucking Deku.
You blinked in shock. So you're a real celebrity, huh? He snapped his fingers and pointed at the wheel that made a turn on its own.
I'm just a guy in a silly hero costume in a self-driving car, and I'm sponsored by companies who 25 years ago would have been considered dystopian horror corporations. So yeah, I'm pretty much a big shot.
Bakugou looked a bit offended, while you chuckled. And I'm a girl who was homeless for the better half of her life, so excuse me that I still haven't processed all this. He chuckled.
I like your attitude. You remind me of myself.
You made a noise of discomfort. Just so you know,
Just a heads up. I don't run any death games, if you're worried about that. You're not gonna die tonight.
Slowly you turned your head to face him. I wasn't worried about that until you brought it up.
Oops.
You shrugged. But this isn't South Korea, so... probably really unrealistic, huh? He laughed out loud at your reference and then got serious again.
So, got any addictions?
I may have a tapeworm. He blinked. But no, I can't afford any addictions.
And what was that about a tapeworm?
You chuckled darkly. It's a joke. Sighing, you added. The homeless shelters are equipped with quite good medical staff. I mostly kept to myself, so I don't have any STDs. In fact, that's one of the reasons I stay away from Undercity. Outside of my poor hygiene and, He looked at you in concern. I do have a cut on my leg. Bakugou shrugged.
Well, we'll take a look at that when we're at my place.
The drive took you from the outer ghetto of Camino Ward to the more rich area of the Tatooine district. The car stopped inside a parking lot before a massive apartment complex. After leaving the car, he guided you towards an elevator. Once inside the metal box, Bakugou couldn't help but notice your smell. It was somewhere between dirt, cigarette smoke, and foul eggs. If anything, this just increased the pity he felt for you, instead of making him gag. He took your hand as he pulled you towards his apartment, taking note of your darkened fingernails, before stopping at a black door. You gulped as you watched Bakugou slide a keycard into a reader, and the door automatically swung open. Bakugou led you inside his $1,000,000 apartment. The complex he inhabited was owned by a German hero agency that was affiliated with his. They were called Anti-Entropy, In other words, a sponsor. Who would have thought? He sat you down on a chair.
Just show me that leg of yours.
He really didn't give you any moment to realize what was around you, did he? The wound was too high on your leg, so instead of trying to pull your panties, you simply dropped them. The dirty bandage covered your upper thigh. His eyes started to cross it. He clicked his tongue before removing the band-aid. And then he left to get a first aid kit. It looked nasty, but not untreatable. Internally, he wished you could take a shower with it. Over the next 30 minutes, he carefully cleaned out your leg wound. It burned painfully, and you broke out into tears when he brought forth a scalpel to scrape out the dirt. In the end, you were heaving in pain with a fresh band-aid on your leg. That... Ow.
It isn't over yet. Stop crying.
You looked at him with puppy eyes.
We're going to take a shower now. Be careful.
He took out another plastic wrap and placed it on the band-aid.
This will keep it dry. We'll move it when we're done.
Without another word, he took you by the hand. You didn't protest. Really, what could you do? He was a strong hero, you were homeless. Might as well allow anything what was going to happen tonight. His bathroom was almost the size of the entrance lobby of your homeless shelter. So decadent and yet beautiful. The sink was made out of what seemed to be pure gold. He turned on his bathtub and unwrapped his face mask and hero costume, accessories, placing them in a corner. Bakugou crossed his arms, nodding into the direction of the tub.
I ain't letting you crash in my place dirty like that.
Your face flushed, but you followed his order. Slowly undressing, covering your shame and chest with your arms. You did notice a slight blush on his face, too. Once the tub was full, he practically pushed you into it. There, sitting in the fetal position, you allowed him to wash you. The water was a bit too hot, but whatever. And soon the water turned into a gross black. I'm sorry, you said.
Well,
You shouldn't be doing this. Right? He huffed, slightly annoyed.
alright. Truth then.
You looked at him.
My manager wants me to do humanitarian shit, in the hopes that gives me a better image in the news. Well, yes, I feel bad for you. As I said, I never was face to face with a homeless, but... look, just accept it, that I feel sorry for you. And well, I'm glad you aren't one of these please don't pity me girls. I hate them. They're so annoying. And if anything, they deserve your fate, if you get what I mean.
You scrubbed over your back, realizing that this patch of black wasn't dirt but a discoloration, similar to that of your fingers. You smiled painfully. He made a noise. What?
Since when have you been taking quirk suppressants?
You shuddered.
Go on. You said you are taking drugs.
I'm not addicted. I can stop whatever I want.
These black patches, your bloodshot eyes, ragged breaths. I noticed them. Clear signs of quirk suppressant abuse. Why would you even want to suppress your quirk?
My quirk isn't strong or useful. It's kind of shit. And it just feels good suppressing it. Bakugou sighed. I'm not addicted. He was judging you, wasn't he?
Do you want to clean yourself?
You blinked.
I mean the front.
Was he now getting shy? You took the washcloth off him and began washing your chest. As he took a step back, looking away. What a gentleman, you thought sarcastically.
I won't give you any, by the way,
he said eventually. And you sighed. I'm not addicted. He stepped closer again and crossed his arms.
Well, then prove it.
How? He went quiet and then left the bathroom. Hey! You shouted after him, but to no avail. With a heavy feeling in your gut, you continued to clean yourself up. As you proceeded to wash your hair, your shampoo smelled like pine resin. Lovely. He then returned to the bathroom. As you finished your cleanup, he started talking.
Was talking to my manager.
You looked at him.
You're hired. Associate secretary. You basically have to do nothing. It's just big shot talk for secret girlfriend.
You blinked.
You didn't agree to that.
Not that you minded. Free money, free place to stay.
You get home security, some food, all you gotta do is tell the press who you were, and then smile in the camera, and tell them how much of a nice guy I am.
You blinked. I still don't understand why you're doing this.
I told you it's publicity stunts. It benefit you just as much as me.
He huffed.
Ugh. Besides, now that you're clean, you aren't that bad on the eyes. Definitely in a good... Besides, now that you're clean, well, you aren't that bad on the eyes.
You blushed hard. Are we gonna bang? He shrugged.
Well, if you want to. If you want, I don't care either way. But didn't you expect it? I could totally see that. You were undressing me with your eyes.
Your legs quivered. Well, you gulped. You couldn't believe what you were about to say. I wouldn't mind you breeding me like a worthless little piggy. He laughed nervously. What you just said really appealed to him.
Man, I love your attitude.
Thank you to the people who are supporting me on Ko-fi. You guys are keeping me alive.